5 facts about William the Marshal. Born in either 1146 or 1147, William Marshal, also known as the Marshal after his family's hereditary ceremonial role of holding responsibility for the royal stables, was among the preeminent statesmen and soldiers of the medieval period in England. Serving 5 kings in various capacities throughout his life, Marshal expertly negotiated the political landscape of a tumultuous period in English history. In his youth, he was a tournament champion. Marshal grew up in both England and France, where his family held land. Knighted in 1166, he attended his first tournament a year later, before joining the service of Eleanor of Aquitaine. Recalling later in life that he had bested 500 men over the course of his tournament career, Marshal became a legendary champion, competing in violent staged battles for prize money and fame. He went on crusade. Marshal and the young king had reconciled by the latter's death, and Marshal vowed to his former pupil that he would take up the cross in his honor. Little is known about the 2 years Marshal subsequently spent in the Holy Land on crusade, but he certainly sailed for Jerusalem in the winter of 1183. Marshal returned to England in either 1185 or 1186, joining the court of Henry II in the final years of the latter's reign. He fought and almost killed Richard the Lionheart. Following the death of the young king, Henry II's younger son Richard became heir to the English throne. Henry and Richard had a turbulent relationship, including Richard opposing his father and fighting for the French king, Philip II. In a skirmish between Henry and Philip's forces, Marshal unseated the young Richard and had the opportunity to finish the future king. Marshal instead chose clemency and claimed to be the only man to have ever bested Richard in combat. He served 5 kings, ending with Henry III. John died in 1216, and Marshal's final royal posting was to serve as the protector for John's young son, King Henry III. In Henry's name, Marshal fought a series of campaigns against the future Louis VIII of France, including leading the charge at the Battle of Lincoln in 1217, despite being over 70 years old. After the successful conclusion of the conflict with Louis, Marshal negotiated a lenient peace treaty, which he saw as crucial to preserving peace. Despite facing criticism for the generous terms he offered the French, Marshal nevertheless assured stability for his young ruler, who would go on to reign for over 55 years. He is buried in the heart of London. By the spring of 1219, Marshal's health was failing, and he died at Caversham on 14th May. Having joined the Order of the Knights Templar on his deathbed, a promise he allegedly made on crusade, he was buried in Temple Church in London.